Good afternoon, YouTube. Once again, this is 3:33 p.m. 2/5/2020. Like this will be like part two, but this is more directed towards Donald Trump. To start with, I don't know if anybody else is going through this. Here's my fiance's dilemma. For the last almost 3 years, she hasn't filed taxes because of Obamacare. Barry Santero's extortion racket. That's what it is. This won't be as long, but I'm letting everybody know if this is going on. Trump's talking about helping the middle class again, and how him using the so-called justice law system that's in play right now, how many hiccups and stumbles that he's going to go bounce around and over, and to let him know that his power and authority, being the President of the United States, means nothing to these SOBs. I'm going to try to make this as calmly as I can, but she just traded one extortion racket for another. Her being number 17 on the list didn't make a damn today. But anyway, now, or she was trying to have her taxes done, they're telling her since President Obama racket is no longer in play, and Trump gave everybody more of their money back, okay, through their paychecks. She didn't pay enough taxes, and she's going to get fined by the IRS, another extortion racket, okay, because she didn't pay in enough taxes. So what good is it to get your money back, okay, throughout the week or whatever, and be able to utilize it and put it to good use in the economy to bring everything up, to make everything look good? I understand what's going on. I understand the game that's being played on us, because most people are not going to understand the all the ins and outs, which I don't understand them all. I'd be lying if I did. I'm not perfect. I understand, Mr. Trump, you're not perfect either. If you walk on water in front of me, I need to have a real long conversation with you. But I'm letting you know, uh, your IRS. I don't know if this is happening to everybody, because of where she didn't file her taxes for the last I think 4 years, because of Obamacare and the so-called unconstitutional means that he went through to make somebody pay for something they didn't want. It's called extortion. Okay, now your IRS is doing the same identical thing, okay, since you gave her a tax break and you allowed her more of her own income, okay, they want to find her because she didn't pay enough into the uh, Queen's kitty, so to speak. If you don't quite understand what I'm trying to say, what got done was one extortion racket got traded for another. Okay? And if you're willing to give the middle class that's coming up and a tax break and bigger incentives because they have children, what kind of flaw are they going to put in your straw? Okay? Mr. Trump, because they just did it to her, and we're nobody, so to speak. We're living in a flyover state. We're below pretty much, we're just barely above poverty level. Okay? It took me almost 40 years to figure out debt was not something to be involved in. Chase Manhattan took my house on illegal means, but I can't do nothing about it because I can't afford a mouthpiece that's got a license from the Queen of England. Okay? And there again, y'all are upholding this so-called rule of law, and the rule of law is not there for you, me, or anybody else that don't want it. They forced on us. No offense, Mr. Trump. I ain't trying to be mean to you. I do see around the veil, and I do have an understanding that I ask questions when the questions need to be asked. Okay, like I said, your tax incentive, wonderful. It's a great thing. She got to have a little extra money in her paycheck every week, or every 2 weeks she gets paid. She's a CNA. Her thing was she was trained for basically autistic children, and there's no niche here where we're at for her to keep going. Had to go with that, so she had to go back to the elderly care for her CNA and a job. But what good is the tax incentive when you go to file your taxes to get that little bit back that they should have never took in the first place? They tell you, okay, they're not going to fine you for not filing your taxes for 2 or 3 years. They're not going to fine you for Obamacare, but they are going to fine you because you didn't pay enough taxes. How is this working? How is this fair to anybody? Okay, I'm just trying to give you some heads up a little bit, Mr. Trump, and I don't even know if you ever get this. And I mean, I would like to think you would, because it's going to be put onto your Twitter. This is the only means that I feel like that I can get to you, and I hope one of your so-called employees don't take and file 13 it. I'm somewhat of an asshole-ish upfront person. I do try to get my point across. Um, I'm disabled from a massive heart attack and heart surgery. Um, but I learned from Chase Manhattan after they took my house in Virginia, broke chain of title like 3 different times, put somebody else as a beneficiary, turned around and took a $60,000 mortgage and turned it into $1 million piece of property. I couldn't fight them. Like I said, I couldn't afford to buy into one of them attorneys known as the Queen's Knights at the round table that they sign their name off to and their allegiance to, the bar, so to speak. And letting you know that apparently they're not listening to you, and they're going in any avenue that they could possibly go around you until one of us stand up and say something to you. I know you don't know that it's going on, but I'm letting you know. And like I said, it's 2/5/2020, and started this video at 333. That's somewhat of a weird number, but anyway, I'm hoping it gets to you, and I'm hoping you're listening, because if the IRS is going around you, you can better believe the rest of the deep state's looking for other avenues to circle around you. Until you get rid of this corporate law that's been shoved on us since the Act of 1871, there's not going to be no change. You think they are. Piece of paper don't make it so. Okay? You root these people out, you get rid of these people, and you put correct law and put rule back where it needs to be in the people's hands. I know we ain't had it since the 1871 Act. Okay? And there's a whole lot of us waking up to that fact. And if it keeps going in the manner that it's going, if whatever needs to be done, you can't keep using the same laws to try to change something, because it was engineered and constructed for their benefit, nobody others. Thank you, Mr. President. I liked your State of the Union, and looked like Nancy Pelosi had a few bowel movements behind you while she was sitting there. But anyway, thank you. Thought I'd bring it to your attention. Hope you get it. Peace to everybody.